Tov Kuf Yud Aleph. I think you have those pages. And let's look at the blurb here on the right column at the bottom. It says like, that's what I was going to do. I'm going to read the top first. It says, Ani Yeshena v'libi air. I'm sleeping, but my heart is still awake. V'lav inun mesim, and these they're really dead. Begin da itmer behon, and then it's for this reason it's written in regards to them. In regards to them, Hikitzu v'rananu, Hikitzu, wake up, celebrate. Hikitzu, so it said, then he says, Rai Mehemna, you wake up. Itar an v'avahon, so wake yourself up, and also our fathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. The Shechinah the ELIYAHU Yeshena begalusa, because the Shechinah is still sleeping in Galus. Ba'ad kan tzedikayu kuhu demichim. So now we see that they're no light sleep, or they're sleeping. All of the tzedikayu are sleeping. The shintach b'chorechem, and they're sleeping, or they're, I guess demichin, I think means they're nodding off, or they're slumbering. The shintach b'chorechem, and they sleep in their graves. I want to read the next one also, in case we have time to get to it. I'm not sure we will, but let's see. So miyad yehivish shechinah tlas kala. So immediately the Shechinah comes out with the Shechinah. So he wants to wake up the Shechinah, get the Shechinah going. He said miyad yehivish shechinah tlas kala. It gives out three different voices, three different sounds. L'gabe Rai Mehemna, one for the Rai Mehemna. And you'll say to him, get up, Rai Mehemna. Allah itmar, because in regards to you it says, Kol dodi dofig l'gaboy ba'ar ba'asvin delay. He said, I guess the voice of my loved one, it beats inside of me, ba'ar ba'asvin delay, and it's 4 different letters. V'yem home and say to them, Piski li achosi, open up for me, my sister, Rayasi, Yonasi, Tamasi, and he's going to go over some of the meanings of some of those words when we get to them. Let's look at the blurb here on the bottom of the right column, and he says like this: Hine achar shehizke Rebbe Shimon the pasuk Hikitzu v'rananu l'shochnei ofar. He made that statement. He said the pirushu romas al tzadikim shebimsasam kruyim chayim, that when they're dead they're really called alive. Kashiyis order the orach Shechinah, when they kashiyis oraru. When you wake them up, why do you want to wake them up? L'orach Shechinah, to awaken, arouse the Shechinah. Chazad defar shedavarav. So it comes back and he wants to explain his words. And he says, the Pirush shedavarav, that his words, mekuvanim l'neshamas Rai Mehemna Moshe Rabbeinu. So he wants to that the neshama of Rai Mehemna, Rai Mehemna, Avos HaKadoshim, and the 3 Avos, the Pona Devar of the Moshe Rabbeinu, and so now he's really coming, using the words of Moshe Rabbeinu, Shiras Ora Yached Imo, that you should along with him as he wakes himself up, Imo as Avos HaKadoshim, to wake all of them up. So let's read the Pirush Rachut, and we'll try to go through it. So he says, V'chazer of Rebbe Shimon, the Farish Devar of Omar. So Rebbe Shimon came, and he came back to say, Hikitzo Hainu, Rai Mehemna Yitar Ant V'avahon, Moshe Rabbeinu Charoa Ne'eman, his order Ata V'titztarif Imo Imacha, and to wake up also along with you, Gam Es Avos HaKadoshim, also the Holy Fathers. The Isra'usa, the Shechinah, the ELIYAHU Yeshena begalusa, and the reason why you need to wake up, and the fathers, is because of this condition of the Shechinah. They l'orach Shechinah shehi Yeshena begalus, because she's sleeping in this exile. The histalkuch b'menach mochim, because the mochim are gone from her. The ad kan she'ad ata shelo nizgalus sodas atara. Now let me just go back over that phrase again. Why is she sleeping in Galus? Because the Mochin have left her. Now, I'm not sure exactly the implications of that. We'll see something. I think there's something on that down below. the ad kan shad atach shadol nisgalu sodas Torah, because up until this time that there was no revelation of the secrets of Torah, barabim, ella the yechidich segula bilvad, only those special people. The fichol tzedikim, tzedikai, so therefore he says tzedikai kul demikim v'shinza b'choreichem, tzedikim kulam, all of the tzedikim, hein near doim, they're really dozing, beli mochim, without mochim, with v'chashena shvoya b'chori anehem. So he says, he uses the word b'chori here, he says, not like I translate it. He says, and they're sleeping, and they're dwelling in the sockets. Now, I'm not sure what this could mean. He says, v'chashena shvuya. So the shena is now developing or occupying b'chori anechem, the sockets of their eyes. So they're sleeping. The rose be'enechem, so the Torah, because these tzaddikim lo choyim mistaklim, they didn't have the chance to look at and to be able to see with their own eyes. So the Torah. Al kain nimshach gam kain lemaisa, so the shena, so therefore comes along with that. Gam kain lemaisa, so the shena, the really, I don't know, the deep, he says, of the deed, he says, of the secret of sleep. B'lekach hoya Rebbe Shimon magalach asoda kadesh al yedei gilui asodos. Yisukun gan lamala, there'll be a tikkun that will take place in Penimius. So the shena, which is the secret of sleeping, and so there will be a geula at this time. So this will lead us to the geula. V'omer od miyad, and immediately says after that, because she is ordered the Shechinah b'koich nishmas Moshe Rabbeinu v'gimel avos, when she is aroused as a result of Moshe Rabbeinu and the three avos. Yehivish Shechinah tlas kol, and the Shechinah will come out with three different sounds. The Malchus will make three different voices. That's the word he says. So he says, Titen Ashkina Gimel Kolas Keneged Gimel Avos. There will be three special sounds that she will. I said son, but she says voices. I guess that she would call out there to the three Avos Besod Ha'alos Man Hakolulach Begimel Kavim Shel Chesed Din Berachmim Shalom Legabe Rai Mehemna. Now let me read this again, just don't mess it up too bad. So he says Talas Kol and three. So he says Titen Ashkina Gimel Kolos Keneged Gimel Avos. No problem. One call for each Av to arouse them. No, the Shechinah is now being aroused. Besod Allah's man, and what is this arousal that goes to the Shechinah is below the Avos. So they're mashpia to her, because that's really where the great Shefa comes into the nook. So he says that she actually besod Allah's man hakululim begimel kavim. So he says, I'm not sure how he gets this, but he says that the three kavim, which we know that there's three kavim, there's three colors. Here he said there's three voices. I guess voice the best I get. And this is all, this is going from the bottom to the top, which is Mayim Nukvim, Hakulula Begim Kavim, which is also, the Mayim Nukvim also has within it, or again, I'm not really quite sure, but he says that they're incorporated within the three lines, Shal Chesed Den V'Rachamim, which also represents the beginning of those lines, are the fathers, Shalom Legabe Rayim Behemna, Shalom, V'Rachamim Shalom, their mercy, the Gabi Rai Mehemna El Nishmas Moshe Rabbeinu. It's because where is she? She's sending these three voices, which are represented by the three lines Chesed Din V'Rachamim. El Nishmas Moshe Rabbeinu. She's sending that to the Shuhu Sod Adas to Zer Anpin, because he's really the secret. That's like a goal of Zer Anpin. V'yem Elay, she say it to him, v'tombel l'nishmas Moshe, and she should say it to the neshama of Moshe. Kum Rayim Mehem, get up Rayim Mehem, kum achal roash haneman, you faithful shepherd. The hand she is ordered das the Zer Anpin, that you should arouse what? The das of Zer Anpin. Now I'm interested in this to try to understand this, because you're going from the bottom to the top. Normally, when we talk about Zeranpin, or excuse me, the Das is Zeranpin, we're talking about going from the top to the bottom because that's the agent of or the interface for spreading the mochi down below. Let's go on. The whole Allah Chitmer, because on you it says Shahara Allah Ne'emar, it says a cold dodi dofek. Who's Zeranpin? Who is the voice of my beloved? What is my beloved? He's saying like this, dofek who's Zeranpin. He says the voice, the Havdil, he says the voice is beating inside a Zeranpin. So if you think about it, the power of the voice, the powers of the singing, like when I was a kid and Elvis Presley came along, and you saw all the girls, they wanted to hear that voice, the Havdil. So here you have the same idea, is that the receptacle, which is the female aspect, wants to hear that voice. So, but here we're talking about arousing das. The das is Zeranpin. Kol dodi doifek who's Zeranpin. Who's that loved one is Zeranpin. Ha doichev the gaboy. It's beating within me. Elai to me le'orach hayichud for the purpose of trying to bring you back, bring the shefa from the das of Zeranpin down. To bring us into Yichud, and they squall on me. He says that I'm going to arouse the Yichud. Delay. How are we going to do this? We're going to take the 4 letters of God's name, Shehem Sod Chochma Bina Tiferes Malchut Shelo, and he says that touch it up, and you see that it refers to Chochma and Bina. And then the goof itself, the body, and Malchut Shelo, Yud Kei Vav Kei. So you take these 4 letters, the Osius, Arba Kinuyim Keneged Daled Osius Adne, and you're going to make like a word or a name, a special name, by combining them with the Daled Osius of Adne Sheba Malchus. So then he says, Pischili Achosi. So he said, open up for me, my sister. So he says this concept of the sister refers to the Chochma. I mean, to be more specific, Rayasi. So Rayasi is my lover. Bina Shalo, that's the Vina. Yonasi, here's another phrase. Yonasi, my dove. Keneged Tiferes, this refers to Keteris. Tamasi, Keneged Malchut Shalo. Tamasi, my pure one, I guess. Keneged the Malchut Shalo. And what you're talking about here is joining together the 4 letters of Yud Kei Vav Kei Shebezer Anpin B'Dalet Osius Adne Shebemalchus Hanirmazim Be'ezuch Be'ezuch Hadal Genoyim. So he said Beforish Od. So excuse me. He said Beforish Od Rembed Bekindo Tamase Tamura Al Shlemus Al Malchus Bekum Shlemus. So he says that when he says Tamase, it means that ultimately we want to bring Malchus, and this is really the goal. I've still been talking about the arousal of the Shechinah and so on and so forth. He said, Amora al Shlemus Malchus, the perfection of Malchus, but Kumashalema in a complete column of all 10 spheros, including the Gar. The Hu Shlam Kumas Malchus, V'yischaber Zun Panim B'Panim, and now they are together. Yes, Batel HaKlipos V'Hitzonim Kenirmas, because of, like it's written over there in this pasuk, Tam Ovonech Bas Sion, pure. I don't know, purified from your sins, the daughter of Zion. Avon Hem HaKlipos, Sheyasbel V'Yisbatlo, that should be killed, or they should die, be nullified, Kasher Tiyah Malchus Shlema of a Temisa, when she becomes in Shlemas. This is talking really about the Shechinah, they're bringing the Shechinah back. V'azai lo Yosef Alaglosecha, there will be no more exile. Ki azai Tiyah Geula Shlema, B'chol mini Shlemas, all different kinds of Shlemas. So I just read over to the next blurb, and let's come back, and we have like 11 minutes. I could stop here and go to the next, to the other, but I thought that we would try this one with the notes. V'chazer Rebbe Shimon the Farish Devar of Omar. So he begins this way and he speaks and wants to speak his words, and you have a Yud base down at the bottom. Let's see if we can find that. Yud base, here it is. Koifel Milus Hakitzu. So what they say, Hakitzu Rayim Hamne Itar An V'Avel is ordered the Shechinah the Ihu Sheda Begalusa. So he says the language is doubled. On the Yeshena, the love, Inun Mesi. Okay, let's go on and see. There's a Kofa Milas Hakitza. The Horisha Misham Nilmad, Ikra Hadroshalo, Shahatzadikim, Misans, and Bebechidishena Levad, that their death is really just an aspect of sleep. And in other words, they could be aroused again. Sha'omba Hakitza al Derek Sha'omrim Libi. So he said that this is what you say when you say wake up. That's what you say to someone who's been sleeping. Let's go on a little bit more and just read after Yud Big Gimel, and it says specifically to the Raya Mehemna, he says, Hekitzu, Haindach Raya Mehemna, Yitar An V'Avalon. So wake yourself up, and the fathers along with you. Moshe Rabbeinu Haroa and Ammon, his Orach B'Ata, and combine yourself also, or join together with you, our fathers, HaKadoshim. That was number Yud Gimel. This is according to Be'er L'chai Roi. Then he says, the Isra Usa the Shechinah the Ihu Sheda Begalusa Kadei La'oirach HaShechinah Shehi Yeshena Begalus, because she's sleeping as a result of this exile. That's where she's at. Let me see if I can put this over here. Okay, and so we got to number Yodala down below. So he always wants to mention the name of the Pirush that he's taking this from. So he says, Al Pi Zikra Menachem, according to the Zikra Menachem, Ve'ohaina Shegavanas Rashbi, B'chaskaras HaPasek Hikitza, she is ordered the order of Shechinah, that you rise him up. The idea is that we want to arouse the Shechinah. So therefore, that's what we're doing. We're trying to find the Shechinah, find a way to wake her up. Amda Bekise Melech before Shegavanas Rebbe Shiva b'Masha Arba Lehisrausa the Shechinah. It starts with the Neshama Moshe v'Avram, that you join together the Neshama Nishmas Moshe v'Moshe v'Avos Lehisrausas of the Hisorus Hashchina. What do you want them to do? What do we want those four to do? So he says, in order to arouse the Shechinah. He says, order the Chabideh to also show Rebbe Shimon, how do they, in fact, awaken up? How are you going to wake them up? You're going to wake them up through the Torah of Rebbe Shimon ben Yochai. Shabokeas Rekian, that he's able to break through the heavens. I guess he means really the barriers between where the light is coming and us. The Magaza, the Tika Kadisha, and it reaches all the way to Eric Anpin, which is the Tika Kadisha. Moshe Amr Bezoar, we saw this is the Horizon, Bezoar, the Horizon Salka B'Shin Ayin Horan Bifnei Arich. That he says the Torah, it goes up in 370 lights, Bifnei Arich. Those are the two kales. Hashem Kale. So we say Kamosha Amber Rav the Kamala, we say later on, the Rav is going to say the Kudsha Barichut Sayas Lamina the Rebbe Shimon. So he that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he listens to what Rebbe Shimon says. Begin Ein Sham, and there's a quote over there, Ein Sham Devar in Nifloim. It's amazing what they say over there. But up to this time she's sleeping in Galus. When she's awakened up, or awakened state, and that's what you need to do, is to rejoice with that Shechinah. So let's see what else we could say here. He says number Yudalad. Yudalad says the fish is stalko b'menach and b'mochim. Why? The mochin are gone. The ad kan sha'ad ata shalon is galu. So the Torah, he said, but up until this point, it's the secrets of the Torah that will awaken her. and the fathers, and Moshe Rabbeinu. But Rabbi, so he says, "Sha'ad ata shadon isgalu sodas haTorah v'Rabbim, elo liyikidi chazagula bilvad lefichot tzedikayu kulhu dumichim b'shin sebechorechim hatzedikim kulam," so that their eye sockets show sleep. That's what he translated as. Let's go down and look and see if we can pick up number Tes Vav with tzadikim kulam, all the tzadikim. So he said, "V'hi beloshen zu she'omer Rabbi Shimon tzedikayu kulhu l'hayda tzadikim kulam." That is the all of the tzadikim. A klal l'chayrach gam as atzmo. So he includes himself as well. So he's one of the tzadikim that needs to be aroused or to v'chein v'zichron menachem. So therefore, when you look at the pirush called the zichron menachem, it says. Before the devar of Elu v'chayzek avodas Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, gam l'oros atzma, was also to awaken himself up. V'galo sitrei Torah. In other words, he had to arouse himself in order to start revealing the sitrei Torah. Kadei she'al yedei zatis orach hashchinah v'tihyach l'geula b'mheir b'meinu amen, so that this would arouse it and cause the geula. But Oz, and until that time, lo nizgal l'sisrei the rise of a rabbin, there was never a time where the multitude had access to be able to see the secrets of the Torah. Rak the yechidis agula, only those special people. L'chein Amir Rebbe Shimon, so therefore Rebbe Shimon ben Yochai, the Ad Kan Tzedikayu Kuhu D'Michim, because up until this point they're all nodding off, they're dozing. So let's go on a little bit more, and that was number Tes Vav and Tes Zayin. We'll skip Tes Zayin and we'll go on to V'Omer Od Miyad, and it says furthermore. Let me get started here. V'Omer Od Miyad Shkedish Orda L'Shchinah B'Koich Nishmas Moshe Rabbeinu V'Gimel Avos. When all of this happens, we have a number Yud Gimel down below here, I think, or well, that's not Yud Gimel, that's Yud Zayin, sorry. And we have number Yud Gayin down below, and it says Al Pi Zichru Menachem. He always introduces the Zichru Menachem's getting a lot of play over here. Now he writes V'Hagroah. What does a Groah say? Before Shloshin Miyad Al Zaman Geula. So he says Miyad. He says really talking about the time of the redemption. Sha'az Mis Orach HaB'Shchinah to say Sagimel Kola, because this is the time that the Shechinah is aroused to bring out these three different voices. I'm going to call it voices. V'chein pirish beber l'chai roi, because I think voices is more personal. Beber shas ratzon. So he the beer the shas ratzon olach pirish kan. So I guess shas ratzon olach pirish kan hakol b'loshen havu. Everything is in the present tense. The haina, that is to say, she'achsha b'schus gilui sodus haTorah, the fact that we got to this, we have the schus of revealing this Torah, ayidech of Rashbi, nascha shchina gimel kolos. So because he opens it up, it causes the Shechinah to bring out, to speak in three voices. And before she'ini v'zech l'shon, let's explain it more. He says, kol makom she'oskin b'Torah, Shechinah shruya b'neichem v'kol shechein chochal gabe Rashbi v'ziyah. So certainly in regards to Rashbi, v'yehivus chlas kolin lo pachos v'lo yoser, not more, not less. Ki hinei hi malchus nukva dezer anpin, because what are we talking about? The Shechinah is malchus, the female aspect of zer anpin, the female part of zer anpin, b'chinas nefesh kenoida, which is the nefesh of zer anpin. V'hu, that is zer anpin, b'chinas ruach, k'moshe kasser Rabbeinu Zal, he is like the male part, which is a ruach. Ruach goes along with the word voice. So he says this is ruach because the ruach requires breath in order to be able to, the voice requires breath, which is ruach, in order to be able to make sound. So he said, let me read it again. He's the zer anpin, b'chinas nefesh k'noida, v'hu zer anpin, b'chinas ruach, k'moshe kasser Rabbeinu Zal b'kama b'komos. So when the ruach comes to her, it merba, it says, in other words, I guess it means it enters into her. It merba kol dodi doifik, so the voice of my beloved is beating. So what does that mean? Ubesod hazivug he ma'alaman, and because now this voice is let's say vibrating or he says beating. He says v'chazivug he ma'alaman. This causes mayim nukvin to go to Ubesod ha'uchad begavon, which is the secret, which is generated as a result of this rucha that is sent into her, b'bia kadmov, for that first bia. We're going back to the night rushes over here. B'gavon b'bia kadmov, she'em sod shlosha av, the shlosha, she'em sod shlosha av, 3 different avs. What are the avs? The sag, ma, uben. There's an av to sag, and sag to ma, and a sag to ben. Ha'olda b'gematria ryo. So you take the avs, 3 avs, and going down in that, I'm not sure the all the implications of that, but just say that it comes out to Gemai of ryo. So he said, which is that sweet and gevura, kamosha kosin, gavenuzel, kul shar shar maduman, ayun shan ad kan. So you have to look over there, see how that's playing. That was a great place, but we'll stop right here. Thanks, Rebbe. All the best. See you tomorrow. Go to.